Okay, let's dive into something I think a lot of us can relate to, that deep, deep dislike of small talk. It's such a common feeling, right? But what if I told you the reason why has more to do with your brain's wiring than your social skills?
You absolutely know this feeling. You're standing there, maybe at a work event or waiting for a coffee, and you're talking about the traffic or what you did last weekend, and you can literally feel your battery draining. It's not just boring, it can be physically exhausting. Well, turns out there's a real reason for that.
And this, right here, is the big idea we're going to unpack. It's not about you being rude or antisocial. It's that for some of us, our brains are just built differently. And for those brains, all that superficial chit-chat, it's genuinely hard work. So let's get into the science of it. We're going to talk about something called the cognitive burden of chit-chat. Now, I know that sounds super academic, but stick with me, because the idea is actually really simple and, honestly, incredibly validating. Think of cognitive burden as a kind of mental tax. It's the extra energy your brain has to spend to process information that it just finds, well, meaningless. Small talk is often packed with this kind of stuff, random facts and data with no real depth, nothing for your brain to hook onto. So it has to work overtime just to keep up with the conversation.
Okay, so check out this contrast. On one side, you've got these arbitrary labels, this meaningless information, basically the building blocks of small talk. For some brains, trying to process this is like trying to write on water. It just doesn't stick. But on the other side, you've got authentic moments, meaningful connections. Now that's the stuff that clicks. That feels totally effortless and, actually energizing.
And this brings us to a really crucial point. Hating small talk is not a character flaw. It's simply a preference. It means your brain prefers depth over data. It's looking for real meaning, not just meaningless chatter.
Let's just be crystal clear on this, because it's probably the biggest misconception out there. If you dread that kind of chit-chat, it does not mean your brain is antisocial. It's not trying to avoid people at all.
That's the key. It's not antisocial, it's anti-superficial. And wow, what a huge difference that is, right? Your brain is just craving something more substantial. It gets tired and worn out when it's fed a steady diet of these empty conversational calories.
So, what's a good way to think about these different kinds of conversations? Well, it can be helpful to break them down into two basic modes. Are you broadcasting information, or are you living a moment?
And here's what that really means. Broadcasting is just reporting the facts, right? What you did over the weekend, how the weather is. It's very surface level, and that's what feels so draining. But living a moment, that's where the magic is. That's about sharing something authentic, connecting over a real feeling, a shared idea. That's where you find that genuine engagement we all crave.
So when you boil it all down, this whole thing is really a search for authenticity. When you find yourself avoiding small talk, you're not actually pushing people away. You're searching for a more genuine, a more real way to connect with them.
So let's just recap what's really going on in there. Your brain prioritizes these real, lived moments over just hearing reported data. It's actively seeking out authentic, meaningful connections. It finds that simple broadcasting effects totally draining because at its core, it is wired for the quality of the connection, not the quality of conversation.
And this is the big takeaway, right here. The next time you feel yourself shrinking away from some chit-chat, just remember what's actually happening. You are not avoiding people. You are seeking true connection. You're on the hunt for a conversation that actually matters.
And I just want to leave you with this one last thought to chew on. We're so often told that to connect with people, we need to talk more, be more outgoing. But what if that's completely backward? What if real connection isn't about the quantity of our words at all, but about the quality and the meaning behind them?